What's up everyone, welcome to episode number 9 on my WCW Done Deal game. This is Herd 85 here. We are now into January 2002. The Nitro is ready. This one is coming to you from Canada, so the ratings might be a bit different. So we'll kick things off with a pre-show match, of course. Crowbar getting a win over Mr. Rios. 46 I got. That's right, Jeff Jarrett in the pre-show. It will make sense later in the game why. Wins with a flying dropkick. Though you don't see often Jeff Jarrett doing that. Anyway, I got 60. So Eric Bischoff and Dustin Rhodes kick things off, announcing the return of Thunder on Thursdays. So from now on, my game's going to have not just Nitros, but Thunder will be back. That's also a 2-hour show. I kind of need it because my roster's pretty massive, and it helps sort of spread the storylines a little bit. So Thunder will be back, so people like Jeff Jarrett won't have to wrestle in the pre-show all the time. Tag match. Young Dragons defeat the Enforcers. Jimmy Yang defeats Chris Candido when they hit a double diving leg drop. 54. Dustin Rhodes is backstage with Dusty. He asks for a shot at Booker T. Dusty Rhodes rejects the request, saying he has to earn it. Dustin storms off. 68. Samoa Joe defeats Taka Michinoku with the Muscle Buster. That's also got a 68. Team Canada, with Major Guns come out for an interview. They challenge Ric Flair, and a partner of Flair's choosing to a tag match. Flair says, "I've got just the person in mind to be my partner, and I accept your challenge." So Flair Storm's rivalry is continuing. It's turning more into a tag feud now. Mike Awesome, well, I don't want to say dropping back, but he's been pulled away from the world title scene a bit more. Johnny B. Bad defeats Hugh Morris of the Shooting Star Press thanks to Stacy Keibler. 63. Dustin Rhodes is backstage. He gets into an argument with Dusty about a questionable decision. Basically, he's still moaning that he's not getting a world title shot. 72. Chavo Guerrero defeats Amazing Red with a gory special. Gave us a bit of time. It's got 62 as well. Carino's in the ring, calls out DDP to face him. As soon as DDP appears, he gets jumped by Chris Kanyon. Kanyon has been lying in wait. The ambush leads DDP down and out. So, the return of Chris Kanyon getting involved in the DDP Steve Carino feud. Positively Kanyon, of course. 78 is pretty good. Nigel McGuinness defeats Billy Kidman with the Tower of London following help from Randy Savage. This is continuing the Randy Savage Billy Kidman feud. This got 74. Just a promo for Booker T coming out to the crowd, enjoying the moment as he is now a five-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Lex Luger, Buff Bagwell and Shane Douglas defeat Monty Brown and 2LK. Bagwell pins Conan after cheating. 70. Ric Flair reveals his mystery partner is Scott Steiner. And not only that, I've face turned Scott Steiner. So we're going to get a Scott Steiner face run. 93. So your main event. Scott Steiner and Ric Flair defeat Team Canada in Canada when Steiner hits a Frankensteiner on Mike Awesome. That got an 80. Could have been better, but Flair and Scott Steiner didn't work well as a tag team. But still a good main event. So the first Nitro, 85. Very good, considering a lot of people's openness is better in America than it is in Canada. Raw got an 88. Eddie Guerrero defeated Triple H, so I got a 93. While I'm speaking to you, I'm just tweaking my contract negotiations for Jerry Lynn. WWE have come in. I really want to boost my mid card with some decent talent, so Jerry Lynn would be one of them. Noah got an 86, so that was even better than me as well. 85 still good though. Forward we go. So I'll still do, each video will still be a month's worth of tapings. The videos might be a bit longer now because they're going to have 4 Nitros, 4 Thunders and a pay-per-view. Alright, just quickly skimming the news. I've signed Kevin Owens to a PPA deal, and the new lead announcer for Thunder has also been signed. I'll show you who that is. There he is, Joey Styles. So Joey Styles will be my Thunder announcer. 88 for SmackDown. Rock beat the Big Show. Just skimming through, having a quick look, see if there's anyone that I want to pick up personally. As I said, the roster's pretty big anyway, so it'd only be sort of big additions. New Japan have gone for Taka. Taka's going to be leaving because he's a freelancer, so he'll be leaving. So sign a new announcer. So Nitro's going to have the King and Thunder's going to have Dave Prezick and Dusty Rhodes, just to mix it up a bit. Jidrak and Stasiak win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. So, yeah, what I've done, I've stole one from the real WWE. I've added the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They beat the Cat and Disco Inferno in the final. It was supposed to be for a pay-per-view. I actually made a pay-per-view called the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, but it looks like they've just used it on a weekly show. Start the show with Shane Helms. Right, up to Thunder. The return of Thunder. Okay, first Thunder is booked. We're back in America for this one. I hope I haven't ruined the main event. I think I should have put something better on, but never mind. The Enforcers beat Tanaka and Suzuki with a 57. BG James beats Mr. Rios in a pre-show match with the Power Driver. This is a 52. So main show, Savage challenges Kidman to a rematch tonight here on Thunder. I think I put this at the main event. It's got an 88, so you know, promo wise it does well. Steiner Warriors pick up the win over Taka and La Parka. Taka's leaving soon, so don't expect him to win many. Majajo's back. Comes up to Scott Steiner, who was hitting on Major Guns, but Steiner denies it. There's nothing finer than Scott Steiner, apparently. 64. Daniels defeats Norman Smiley. It's got 60, so good match ratings now for Daniels. Dustin Rhodes and Booker T having an argument. They start brawling with each other. Road agents put them apart. So Dustin goes after Booker T, the champion, even though he was denied a title shot. 95, pretty good. Cruiserweight 6-man tag. Mysterio, Liger, and Amazing Red defeat Chavo, Kikash, Psychosis. Mysterio picks up the win, 75. Dusty Rhodes is shown backstage unconscious and bloody, apparently a victim of a sneak attack. Paramedics appear to stretcher him out. It's got 75. Chronic defeat the Wyndhams with high tides. Adams pins Barry Windham, 67. Lance Storm, this is what I want. Me and you, 1-on-1. Oh, it should have been the other way around, but Lance Storm and Ric Flair are going to meet next week on Nitro. So it's not just a pay-per-view match. This is their third and final meeting. Ric Flair and Lance Storm will face off and main event Nitro. CM Punk picks up a win over Hayes with a go to sleep, 61. Open challenge by Sean O'Haire, the TV champ. It's got 92 just for his promo. Sean O'Haire defeats Samoa Joe with a Widowmaker. This has got an 80, that's like main event worthy. 13th title defense for Sean O'Haire. Scott Steiner defeats Finlay with a Frankensteiner, 77. Following the match, Major Guns comes out and orders Mike Awesome to attack an unaware and bloody Scott Steiner. So this one's going to be a pre-booked for the pay-per-view, which is going to be Sin. And it will be Mike Awesome versus Scott Steiner. Main event, yeah, I thought it'd be not great because I probably should have put something better on. I'm sure this is the main event. Randy Savage defeats Billy Kidman. It's got 72. Still got an 81, considering how good the main event was. Unfortunately, Savage's in-ring skills in 2002 aren't quite the Randy Savage from the 90s. But you know, still overall, not bad at all. Ric Flair asking for more money. It's fine with me, Rick. So Thunder, not too bad, 81. Ric Flair staying with the WWF. He didn't even want to talk to me because I'm not big enough. I'm only cult level, not even national. So this could prove an issue. Hello, Roderick Strong. This could prove an issue when people, main eventers, contracts start coming up, because they won't want to re-sign for a non-national promotion. Muta there, staying with New Japan. Russell Ward, Bryan Danielson was the star. AJ retained over Skipper in the main event. I got 63. Who did Danielson face? It was a tag match, I think. Deadest Night falling out with someone called Agent Orange, whoever that is. But yeah, one of the reasons I wanted Thunder is because I want to help the progression of my talent now. You know, we're 9 months in, I would say. So Jerry Lynn signs for me. I will make him a face. He'll be joining in 2 weeks' time. Just to show you, it's not even there. But Jerry Lynn will be joining WCW in 2 weeks' time. I've just clicked too fast there. All Japan rant. New Japan got 78 for their pay-per-view. Hayes is the Iron Man. Neil Sands takes control at SCW, the Scottish Wrestling Company. Right, sorry for the skip forward there. Pardon me. We are at the next Nitro. You may have heard the sound effect go off in the background. That was my phone. But hey ho, the show must go on. The next Nitro, Lance Storm versus Ric Flair US title will be the main event. So, a pre-show 5-man match. Johnny B. Bad defeats Hugh Morris, Chavo Guerrero, Crowbar and Samoa Joe. Bad pins Joe with a shooting star press, 67. Two LK pick up a win against the Enforcers. Conan defeats Candido with the zip block that's got 69. Carino and Canyon taking a page out of Team Canada's book from last week. Challenge DDP to a tag match and tell him to get a partner. It's got 84. The mini tag title match. Shane Douglas, Buff Bagwell. A quick win over La Parka and Taka. It's 59. Dustin Rhodes attacks Booker T from behind, beating the living out of him. It seems like an eternity. Booker is left bloody and beaten. It's got an 82. Awesome squash match defeats Amazing Red with the Awesome Bomb, 70. Freestyle segment with Tori Wilson's in the background. Eric Bischoff basically says Dusty Rhodes will be back soon. 85. Another very good match for Nigel McGuinness. He defeats Jason Liger with the Tower of London. 81. This should have been Dustin. Obviously, their names are so similar. So Booker T calls out what should have been Dustin Rhodes and challenged him to a match, and they were gonna brawl, but I've made an error. Dusty Rhodes came out. Anyway, Lex Luger defeats Tanaka with the Torture Rack, got a 68. Jeff Jarrett defeats Monty Brown with a stroke thanks to his manager Melina interfering, 76. DDP reveals his partner is Sean O'Hare. He's got a 100. And then in the main event, DDP and Sean O'Hare defeat Carino and Canyon. O'Hare pins Canyon off of the Widowmaker. Well, it wasn't the main event, semi-main. This is your main event. Ric Flair defeats Lance Storm. Flair makes his first US title defense, 91. Highest rated match easily. Man, I made so many errors in this show, but following the match, Flair's attacked by Team Canada, seeing the assault. Steiner runs down and helps fight both men off, saving Flair from a serious beating. 94. Sweet. Even with the mistakes, a 92. A 92. That's unheard of for my show. So my error, I'll point them out again. Booker T should have called out Dustin Rhodes, but putting Dusty in there is giving me a 100. And calling the DDP match a main event when it was clearly Ric Flair versus Lance Storm. But hey, 92. Can't argue with that. Finally smashing some ratings now. It's only taken me like 9 episodes. Alright, just clicking on the emails. A Mike Awesome keeps failing drug tests for steroids, which is annoying. So 92 at the Hammersmith Ballroom was a lot better than the 90 for Raw. Scott Hall took on The Rock in the main event there. Luger hurt himself against Tanaka. Taka Michinoku is on his way to New Japan. So up next will be Thunder. Thunder. SmackDown got an 88. Big Show of The Rock. Again, they're still pushing the Big Show. Frustrated Sting. He's still in rehab. Unfortunately, Sting has a lot of demons back then. I think he's even said it in interviews and stuff. So we're just fixing him, making sure he comes back clean, comes back better than ever, because I do need the Stinger. He's due to come back in a couple of weeks officially, but I will see if he needs to have another rehab. A lot of it's for like depression and stuff. Renee Marrow gives birth to a baby girl. There's an email I just got. There you go, look, Baby Joy. She's still away for 4 months. Noble and Lash Rue are going to be a tag team. Stasiak versus Alex Wright. Air Raid versus Saunders and Miller. Colt Cabana is your new X Division champion. Let's have a look, see. Andy Douglas held it from a month. Eric Young's held it for like 2.5 months. Done 18 title defenses. Wow. Enough title defenses. Colt Cabana beat Eric Young, Joe Matthews and Kenny Omega. Okay, up next, another episode of Thunder. Okay, the 4th show of this video is booked. Thunder. Main event here of Nigel McGuinness will take on Ric Flair. Pre-show match, Christopher Daniels, Kikash Taka. Daniels picks up the win, 69. So what now? When they used to get 40s, that shows you how my cruiserweight division is developing. Jimmy Yang loses to Finlay. Celtic Cross 59. Bit of a mishmash of styles, to be honest. Camera cuts backstage area shows Dusty Rhodes is here. 77. CM Punk defeats Psychosis. It's got 55. Steiner and Flair have a heated confrontation with Storm and Awesome, who have major guns with them. They eventually come to blows. Security break them up. So what I'm going to do for Nitro is pre-book a single match between Lance Storm and Scott Steiner. And that will happen on Nitro. Tag match, Steiner Warriors continued their their winning ways. Defeat Norman Smiley and Hugh Morris. 67. Hugh Morris hinting of a heel turn. Dusty Rhodes reveals to Booker T just who it was who attacked him. Dustin Rhodes. It's got an 85. Dustin then has Booker T has an interview, which he then swears revenge on Dustin Rhodes. So I got an 81. So you may see where this is probably going to go, and I think I shall pre-book it now. We're going to get at the pay-per-view. Booker T will be facing off against Dustin Rhodes, the crazy man himself. 8-man tag, Chronic, Mysterio and Kidman defeat the Wyndhams and the Enforcers. Kidman pins Kendall, 70. DDP goes after his old buddy Canyon, but Carino helps him out, so DDP fails with his attack. That's got an 89. I'm going to pre-book at Sin. DDP will go one-on-one with Canyon, but it won't be till the pay-per-view. Monty Brown defeats Samoa Joe with the pounce. That's got 73. So Joe having a couple of defeats now, but he's now fully established as a mid-carder. Tag title match. Shane Douglas Bagwell defeat 2LK. Douglas picks up the win. 78. Deshaun O'Hare TV Title Open Challenge. A 100, man. He's smashing the ratings. This was answered by Randy Savage, and Sean O'Hare defeats Randy Savage clean in the ring. 81. Following the match though, Jeff Jarrett floors the champion, Sean O'Hare, and then poses with his title belt over the fallen champ. So that's my new feud. Sean O'Hare's first big feud will be against Jeff Jarrett. Main event. Ric Flair defeats Nigel McGuinness, making his second US title defense. It's got an 83. Big match for Nigel, this one. Main event status there. 88 for Thunder, so that's a very good rating. Now that I've got the option for 2 shows, it helps spread the stories, spread the talent usage. Sean O'Hare is flying up the card, absolutely flying. Expect him to be in a main event scene at some point. Pretty much there already, to be honest. New Japan have completed the buyout of All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling. However, they disbanded the company afterwards. Wrestle War, Shane Helms, star of the show. Lex Luke has recovered from his slight injury he had. Big Dig Dudley. Okay, there you go. Look, that was my Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It opened up with Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega as an opener. That would have been a good match. 58. It was, because obviously they're all in their early days. Okay, have a quick little look-see before we move on to the next Nitro. Brian Clark gets very nervous before matches, especially when he's very high up the card. Okay, that's interesting to know from Chronic. Okay, up next, another episode of Nitro. Right, Nitro's booked. Chavo defeats the Amazing Red in a pre-show match. 68 is quite high for a pre-show match. Yeah, this one. Brown defeats Tanaka, Hayes and Cash with the pounce. I got 52. Another pre-show match. Booker T and Dusty Rhodes have an interview in which they swear a bit of revenge on Dustin Rhodes. 85. Carino gets a nice easy win over Crowbar. 59. Mr. Leos picks up a win over Taka Michinoku, the outgoing Taka. 64. Team Canada and Major Guns have an interview in which they warn Steiner and Flair. Chronic defeat the Enforcers and the Wyndham Brothers, so Chronic continue their winning ways. Dustin Rhodes says that he's going to introduce us to his new bodyguard and brings out Samoa Joe. It's a bit of a random one here. Joe forming an alliance with Dustin Rhodes. Basically seeing if I can get Joe over a little bit. Buff defeats Kaz Hayashi with a Buff Blockbuster. 60. Punk defeats Finlay with the Anaconda of Ice. 64. Booker T books a match. Eric Bischoff books a match between Booker T and Lex Luger for tonight. 86. Cruiserweight title defense. Billy Kidman defeats Christopher Daniels and Jason Liger, hitting the Shooting Star Press. 72. Good mid-card match. Massive brawl between Jeff Jarrett and Sean O'Haire. The fight spills the backstage parking lot, where the violence escalates to the point O'Haire throws Jarrett through a car window. 88. Booker T defeats Lex Luger. Following the match, Dustin Rhodes gets his client Samoa Joe to attack and bloody Booker T. And what I'm going to do is pre-book a match for Thunder between Booker T and Samoa Joe. Main event flopped a little bit. Scott Steiner defeats Lance Storm when Storm was disqualified when Mike Awesome ran in and attacked Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's being beaten down by Team Canada. Ric Flair comes rushing to the ring to make the save. He takes on Storm and Awesome by himself, valiantly putting the hurt to Team Canada. Scott Steiner recovers, goes to help, but makes the mistake of coming in from behind Flair, who thinks he's an approaching enemy, and he floors him too. Team Canada escapes in the confusion. 92. So Flair accidentally decks Scotty Steiner. And unfortunately this one only got an 80. However, it was in Canada, so another Canadian show to try and bump up my overness in Canada. Raw got an 84. I'm sure it was in Canada. Yeah, it was in Alberta, Canada. Which is probably why Samoa Joe wasn't as over as I had hoped. However, he will benefit from the storyline. Joe's overness is only 38 and only 23 in Canada, so well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change one of my pre-book match for Sin. I originally had Mike Awesome versus Scott Steiner, but I'm going to move that to Thunder as well. And I'm going to book at Sin a Fatal 4-Way. And this Fatal 4-Way will be for the US title between Ric Flair, Scott Steiner, Lance Storm and Mike Awesome. So changing it up a bit, because the pay-per-view is at the end of the month. SmackDown. The Rock against Jerry Lynn. Alright, The Rock against Jerry Lynn. Got a 100. And it wasn't even a main event, it was like the second match on the card. The Undertaker, there you go, look, Rock, there, Jerry Lynn. Which, you know, for me is great, because Jerry Lynn's coming to me. And his overness is pretty decent. He's easily going to beat Mick Carter. Easily. WCW versus the World. Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson, whoever you want, AJ defend his title. So coming up soon is Thunder. We've got two matches booked. Booker T versus Samoa Joe and Mike Awesome versus Scott Steiner. So like a double main event. And I'll do this one from America. Okay, Thunder is ready to rock. Mike Awesome and Scott Steiner in the main event. Cruiserweight match. Jimmy Yang picks up a win over Suzuki Red, Chavo Cos, and Rios with the Yang time 62. Lex Luger defeats Norman Smiley and Chris Candido. Pre-show match for Luger. That shows you how he's dropping. 56. Right, on to the main show. Kidman and Mysterio defeat the Empire. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. 79, so that's a good start. CM Punk defeats Johnny B. Bad. 71. Following the match, Johnny B. Bad and Stacy Keibler have a little argument about his defeat. 67. Singles match. Rick Steiner in singles action defeats Hugh Morris. It's got a 73. And apparently they've got pretty good chemistry as well. Okay then. Triple threat. Nigel McInnes back onto winning ways. Beats Barry Windham and Conan when he pins Windham after hitting the Tower of London. 70. Not too bad. A return for the Wall. He gets jobbed out though by DDP. Only got 57, but the Wall is leaving soon. Jeff Jarrett, Sean O'Haire backstage. Hair beats him down. Jarrett hits him down before Sean O'Haire's limp body into Tori Wilson, where she was standing, not wearing a lot of clothes. It's got a 96. Thank you, Tori, for helping that one. Monty Brown defeats a Road Warrior Animal with the pounce. 67. Carino distracts DDP long enough for Chris Kanyon to jump him. So Carino and Kanyon get some cheap shots in on DDP. I've got an 83. Samoa Joe versus Booker T actually was a good match in the end. 77. For the match, Booker T is getting attacked by Joe and Dustin Rhodes. Seeing the assault, Dusty Rhodes comes out and makes the save, saving Booker T from a serious beating. That's right, Dusty Rhodes makes the save. The other thing is though, I don't think I can. I'll have a little look. I don't think I can pre-book Dusty into a match because he's a non-wrestler. Main event, Scott Steiner defeats Mike Awesome with the Frankensteiner. It's got an 80. Following the match, Ric Flair, Lance Storm, Steiner and Awesome all brawl, won't stop fighting despite attempts from security to break them up. It's an all-out brawl. 95. So 84 for Thunder. Overall, again, the ratings are going quite steady. anything in 80 is great, to be honest. Anything in 70 is good, because we are quite low down in WCW on our rating front. Going by, I'm just going to double check the size of the company. We are pushing towards the 70 bracket in popularity. We did start 56, so we're flying up. 84 Thunder. As we continue. Just having a little look to see if there's any. There you go, Wrestle War. China was the star. AJ Styles lost in the main event, but it was a non-title match. Looks like we've got new women tag champs, Alpha and Wesner. So that's the Alpha female, I think. Yep, and Wesner Buzik. So the Alpha female is a double champion at the moment. It's amazing. She's the women's champ and now the tag champs in my developmental. Jerry Lynn, now officially part of the roster. However, I am going to probably regret this, and I hope it goes okay. Is to do what I do for everybody and send him on a drug test, and he come back clean. Thank you, Jerry. So Jerry Lynn will be debuting on Nitro. Might stick him in that DDP feud, to be honest. Hey, Paris there. WWF had the Royal Rumble. Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble, 88, 85 for the show. It also had Eddie Guerrero over Matt Hardy for the world title. Interesting title defense for Eddie Guerrero. Matt Hardy, version 1. Alright, this is the last Nitro of the month. Then we've got Thunder, and then we've got WCW Sin. Okay, we are up to week 4 of the Nitros. The last one before WCW Sin. So hopefully it'll be a good one. So to warm up the crowd, 2LK defeat the Empire, Young Dragons and the Wyndham Brothers, giving Conan and BG James a much needed win here. 69 ain't too bad. 8-man tag, Johnny B. Bad, Psychosis, Finley and Lex Luger defeat Red, Suzuki, Tanaka and Hugh Morris. They got 64. So I guess 6-0. So main show, Dustin Rhodes and Samoa Joe find Booker T and Dusty Rhodes and beat him up backstage a bit. It was a revenge for last week, 76. This is the continued push of Samoa Joe, who's already gained quite a lot of overness in a couple of weeks. Hayes picks up his first singles victory on the main roster, defeating Norman Smiley. He's got 64. Eric Bischoff speaks with Dustin Rhodes and Samoa Joe and tells them that due to their recent actions, they will be in a 3-on-2 handicap match against Chronic and Sean O'Hare. 75. Ooh, quite a good match. CM Punk defeats Chris Candido. He's got 77. The Icon of Ice. Candido strained himself. Joey Styles has a backstage interview with Buff Bagwell and Shane Douglas. 68. And then Bagwell goes on to have a triple threat. Beats Crowbar and Kid Cash with the Buff Blockbuster 68. Random Catfight Melina Major Guns 61, just to throw some women on the show. DDP promo swears a bit of revenge on Canyon and Carino. 90 is pretty good. 6-man tag. Team Madness defeat Liger, Kidman and Mysterio. McGuinness pins Rey Mysterio here, 77. So it's quite a big build for the main event scene. Storm and Flair have a verbal argument, turns physical. Awesome and Steiner get involved. Wild brawl. Officials and other wrestlers have to pull them apart. It's got a 96. This is leading to the Fatal 4-Way US title match. Chronic and O'Haire do a promo in which they say Joe and Dustin Rhodes' days are numbered, 72. The 3-on-2. Dustin and Joe pick up the win. And Dustin Rhodes beats Brian Clark, 77. Following the match, O'Haire's isolated and getting attacked not only by Joe and Rhodes but Jeff Jarrett. Seeing the assault, Dusty and Booker T come into the ring and help Sean O'Haire. So what I'm going to do is book Jeff Jarrett versus Sean O'Haire for the pay-per-view. Monty Brown defeats Shane Douglas with a fast roll-up, 77. And this is the main event. DDP and a debuting Jerry Lynn defeat Carino and Canyon when Lynn made Carino tap out with a cross arm breaker submission. Considering DDP and Jerry Lynn didn't really work as a tag team, this got 78, so not too bad. 82, Samoa Joe is used too much. I knew that I was going to say that because, well, yes, Samoa Joe is used quite a lot, so. Well, he is now in a main event storyline, so. Right, before I click on, let's have a look at Samoa Joe's overness. So far, in the space of this month, he's already gone up 10 in overness, from 31 to 41. Brian Adams has come out as a hard drug user, so I have rehabbed him. So that means the end of Chronic. Raw got a 90, Triple H defeats Chris Benoit, got a 99. And then there's Chris Candido's injury there. He says he can work through it, so just gotta be careful how I book him. ECW, RIP. I'm not gonna go for him. SmackDown 89. Scott Hall over the Rock. So just seeing if there was anything interesting. The answer was no. E. Valentine and Mondo became the CZW Tag Team Champions. I think that's sick. Nick Mondo. WCW vs. the World. Bryan Danielson always starring. Hey, look at that. Oka title victory. So she's already a 2-time women's champion in my developmental. Two-time. Right, on to Thunder. Right, the last Thunder is up and ready. The build towards Sin. So testing out Carino and Canyon as a tag team. They defeat the Young Dragons, Canyon with a Northern Lights suplex. So I'm going to change that obviously to the Flatliner, 73. Hayes with another win over Finlay this time, 56. These are pre-show matches. Main show. DDP thanks Jerry Lynn for his help being his tag partner, 72. C.W. Anderson picks up a singles win over Crowbar. This got a 55. Stacey Kidber's had enough of Johnny B. Bad's attitude and won't take it anymore. She says that their relationship is over, and that has allowed me to face turn. Stacey keeps. Singles match. Brian Clark defeats Chavo. Need to think what I'm going to do with Brian Clark now. Chronic have got like a 6-month break. Tori Wilson's getting hit on by Randy Savage backstage when Tori shows no interest, asking to back off. Savage gets forceful, but Kidman's there to make the save and chases off Savage. Now, this is leading to Team Madness. Something at the pay-per-view. Let's go Savage Kidman one last time. That's Sin. Samoa Joe defeats Tanaka, the Muscle Buster, after Dustin Rhodes interferes. 64. Jerry Lynn defeats Christopher Daniels with the cross arm breaker. This got 72. Following the match, Canyon and Carino beat down until DDP's music and he hits the ring, but it was a bit late as the damage has already been done. 76. Mysterio defeats S.A. Elios. It's got 73. Dustin Rhodes attacks Booker T on the entrance ramp and hits his finishing move. 92. Who'd have thought Dustin Rhodes would be putting 92 rating segments, huh? 6-man tag. Auntie Brown Till LK defeat Luger and the Steiner Warriors after Animal was hit with the pounce. Another high angle here. Flair and Steiner getting ready to put Major Guns through a table, but she starts to use her looks on Scott Steiner, distracting him as Team Canada run in and put Ric Flair through the table. Instead, Scott Steiner didn't even see it happen. 97. Nigel McGuinness beats Liger with the Tower of London. It's got 78. Scott Steiner defeats Jeff Jarrett with the Frankensteiner. This got 76. These guys had good chemistry. Following the match, Sean O'Hare gets involved, tries to get a bit of revenge on Jeff Jarrett, but they face off on the opposite side of the ring. They pause, psych themselves up and charge, but other superstars flood the ring, stopping them beating each other up. 92. And overall, 83. Yeah, that's pretty good. 83 for Thunder. Not too shabby. So Samoa Joe asking for a pay rise. And I keep getting superstars failing steroid tests. And they always react differently as well. Alright, so a quick look. Candido's back. We need to give Stacy. Maybe I should put Stacy with Clark. Probably an idea. Keep them both busy. Russell Ward, Jamie Noble standing out. So on average the developmental does about 50 in the ratings. I suppose that's not too bad for a developmental company. Alright, we're on to Sunday, which means up next will be WC joins the NWA, huh? Anywho, up next is my pay-per-view Sin. I'll try and make it a good one. Right, okay, now on to the pay-per-view. Here we go for Sin. Warm-up match, right? Testing out a team here of Rey Mysterio and Amazing Red. They defeat the Enforcers. Mysterio picking up the win. The springboard Hurricanrana. Chavo Guerrero gets the win in this Cruiserweight 5-way. That got a 64. Main show. Samoa Joe picks up the win over Hugh Morris with the Muscle Buster. This got a 66. So something different. Johnny B. Bad's in the ring. Stacey Keith comes out. She challenges Brad to a single match on behalf of her client, who is Raph. Challenge is accepted while his back's turned. Didn't notice Raph hit the ring and blindsides him. 82. That's actually very high. This leads to Raph defeating Johnny B. Bad with a meltdown. 69. And what's annoying is Raph and B. Bad had chemistry, yet Stacy and Raph did not. Nigel McGuinness defeats Taka Michinoku again, 78. Tara London. Promo from Team Canada. This got an 81. Bit of a random freeway. Barney Brown defeats Luger and CM Punk. 76. Tag title defense. Bagwell and Douglas keep the title straps, beating the Steiner Warriors and 2LK. 80. That's quite good. Lynn and Carino have a bit of back and forth and agree to meet in a match. This got a 60. And the actual match itself, Lynn defeats Steve Carino, got 72. Trying to give Lynn a mini push, but I think it might be too soon. Randy Savage defeats Billy Kidman thanks to outside interference by Christopher Daniels, 78. This leads to Daniels challenging, Kidman challenging Daniel, and he'll even put his title on the line. Daniels accepts, of course. Cruiserweight title match. Billy Kidman defeats Christopher Daniels with the Shooting Star Press. This got 78. So 2 matches for Kidman. Both got good ratings. Promo from Jeff Jarrett and Melina, 65. And I can say this is an upset. Jeff Jarrett defeats Sean O'Haire by underhanded tactics and wins the TV title, 82. Following the match, he snatches the belt, scrambles up the aisle, holding the belt aloft, 89. So Jeff Jarrett's the new TV champ. DDP defeats Chris Kanyon with a diamond cutter. This obviously is one half of the DDP Carino feud, really, but 76, good match. World title match, fantastic heat and great wrestling. Booker T defeats Dustin Rhodes with a scissors kick, following by a botched interference by Samoa Joe. 79 this one got. Main event, wow. Just wow. Ric Flair defeats Scotty Steiner, Lance Storm and Mike Awesome when he pinned Mike Awesome. This got a 98. A 90 freaking 8. Awesome. Following the match, Scott Steiner and Ric Flair shake hands because Steiner's a good guy now. 87. So yeah, as you can imagine, what a result for WCW in Sin. A 92, cannot argue with that. So we're now at the 1st of Feb, just quickly running through the news. We'll go backwards up because the bit at the top seems quite important. Jada's gone. We've also got Bruce Hart found Stampede Wrestling. And let's have a look, see. The Walls left WCW, a 92 for Sin. Piper in a car accident from, there must be an old bit of history this. Blood pressure was very low, so close to critically dead in intensive care. So that is all for an action-packed month. 4 Thunders, 4 Nitros and a pay-per-view. I hope you all enjoyed. Give it a watch, of course. Give it a like, give me a comment. Of course, as always, take care, guys.